Welcome to the WDW News Today podcast, episode 70-something. My name's Eric Morton. With me as always, or with me as most of the time, Tom Corliss.
70-something.
70-something. Happy 70-something.
Is this 72?
I think it's 73, but I'm not positive. But
Now I'm going to look.
oh boy.
I mean, just
I'm pretty
keep
sure it's
going.
73.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. For those of you that don't like our banter and BS at the beginning, maybe we'll put a timestamp in that you can just skip all that and get right to the subject, because the same two people complain every week if we don't do that. So welcome to the rest of you. We're trying to make it so that everybody can enjoy the podcast in their own way. Quick disclaimer, there are no snacks today. So no chewing in the microphone. What are you drinking? You're drinking Figment juice?
No, I have seltzer.
Seltzer? I'm drinking
cherry seltzer.
I'm still on my San Pellegrino kick.
I'm going to come back with Norwegian water. I'm going to be drinking Norwegian water after my cruise.
Voss. Isn't Voss
It is,
Norwegian
isn't it?
water brand?
Yeah.
Yeah, drink some Voss while you're there.
I think when I did Remy, they had the water menu. There's special waters, and I believe several of them were Norwegian.
Well, it makes sense. Norway has great water and probably glaciers and all that stuff.
This is 73, you're right.
Right.
We did the Mount Rushmore of Imagineers last week.
That was 72.
No. Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. At one point, it was like when it came to me, it was labeled incorrectly, and I fixed that before it went live. So there we go. Are you excited to go to Norway? Actually, we're going to Vegas first.
We are filming this the day before we leave for Vegas, which is also my birthday trip. It's not where I would have picked for my birthday trip, but Universal Horror Unleashed had other ideas. So here we go.
I can't wait. I'll see you there. We're flying separately.
We have a
one of us on
a
a cheaper airline than the other, and I am really sore. I injured myself over the weekend, so I could use that economy comfort seat, but unfortunately, I'll be flying an airline that's so low down. I'm not even going to mention.
Oh, you didn't end up.
I'm not even going to mention the green and white airline that I'll be flying.
Oh no!
Vegas.
Did Jason get to you?
I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to save money.
No, I get that.
And
It's
I don't have the
not
same
that
status
long.
that you have on Delta to
That's
fly
the thing.
nice.
Like I buy a basic ticket, but
Yeah.
they will. I generally get moved up. So
Yeah.
But you have a United credit to use still, don't you? Or
I do have a United credit
Anaheim?
to use, which is I'm going to use for Anaheim.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I'm hopping around. United actually to Vegas from Orlando is not easy or cheap. Yeah. So it's pretty much, if you want to fly nonstop to Vegas from Orlando, it's pretty much Southwest, Spirit, or Frontier. It's kind of like playing Russian roulette. So here we go. Who knows?
I'm not flying direct. There is no direct Delta flight from Orlando to Vegas. We're stopping in Atlanta, as one does for most Delta itineraries out of Orlando.
As they say that if you die and you go to hell, you probably stop in Atlanta first. That's what I've heard. I don't know, is it Mr. Toad? I don't know. That was my experience on the road.
That's what's in the dark, actually. The train scene, you can't see it, but you're actually, it's those treetops from like the
rainforest walkway.
But it's just turned off, yeah.
Oh, boy. No, I'm excited for Horror Unleashed in Vegas. I've just, my ribs, man. I feel like your dad. My ribs. I had an old people accident, which is I was reaching for a napkin and hurt myself.
Wait, what?
We went to, Pop Stroke?
Yeah.
So we went, there's a new Pop Stroke.
All the ways to get hurt at Pop Stroke.
There's a new Pop Stroke in Hamlin. And I didn't go
play. Already?
Yeah, I didn't play golf. I didn't play golf. We were going to see Superman. There's like a approximation of a fancy movie theater near there. And we were going to let's check it out. Let's eat lunch. And so it's weird. There's 3 different bars there.
Yeah.
And the one that we walked into is also a restaurant. We're like, well, we'll sit at the bar. It looked nice. And the bar is low there because on the other side, like it's sunken down. And so on the other side, it's at like chest height. But in the room I was in, it was like at table height. So we sit in these chairs and they have these arms, right? Like they're kind of patio chairs. They have wooden sharp arms kind of. And a little breeze and my napkin blew off my lap. So I go to reach for it. And it was like someone was in a movie where like as I would reach, it would move like another inch and I'd reach further and it moved another inch and it went far enough away that I'm reaching and I'm like leaning a lot of my body weight into the armrest and I felt like a pop. I don't know if it's a bone. I don't know. I think it's soft tissue, but it hurts. All right.
Well, I assume the tissue was soft. The hard tissue would be hard to clean your face.
Right. Anyway, so that happens when you get old. Just get ready for that one. But I was actually able to play golf the next day. I could play golf, regular golf. I played
Not
real
pop
golf.
stroke.
I didn't play pop stroke, but I played real golf on Sunday. I was worried about it. No problem. Full golf swing, no problem. Getting out of the cart, painful. Rolling over in bed, painful. Sitting up out of a chair.
Maybe it was like Happy
It's
Gilmore, like you separated whatever that ligament is
Right.
that lets you have a better swing.
That could be true because I think I had a little extra pop in my stroke yesterday.
That's why they call it pop
Yeah,
stroke.
but yeah, I felt like I had a little extra, could reach back and get a few more yards. It was good. Man, I hit the ball good for me. Throw away a couple of double bogeys and I'm right there around par. So it was a good day. But yeah, saw Superman. Saw an 80s cover band at House of Blues. This was amazing. You've heard of the Spasmatics?
Yeah.
I think so for those that don't know, Spasmatics is like a chain band. They have like a Spasmatics at every town. They're kind of like there's, 40 people in the lineup and they just shuffle them. Orlando has them, and there's a band called the M80s. They are affiliated, and I think some of the same members, and they also are the Hooligans, who are also what's the band called in the UK Pavilion in Epcot?
The current one.
The current one. So they're all kind of the same people or the same group. Anyway, they opened for a kind of a global 80s cover band called the Molly Ringwalds. So we went to House of Blues and it was packed. The line to get into House of Blues went all the way around House of Blues back by the lake. All the way back where we watched the drone show.
Every show they have there, it's like that.
Yeah. And it was packed. And we got there pretty early because we're all like Gen Xers, right? It's 80s cover bands. So we're all like, woo, when's this get started? I got to get to bed soon. And it's packed. I don't want to stand where it's all packed. So we just go upstairs and there's a little space, but we got like a spot with a railing to set your drink on. But we couldn't see. There was like a giant post in front of us. And then after that, but I could hear fine and I had a TV, kind of see it and whatever. And like after the opening band, the bouncer guy, they have like paid seating there too, upgrade, like loge seating, right? So my tickets to get in are like $28, and I think the loge seating was like $120. And the bouncer guy looks and he goes, "You got two?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Come here," and he lets us in the rope. And they had two no-shows, and so they gave us their seats.
Wow!
So we got the upgraded seating, which is really nice, and had a nice '80s retro night. It was a good time, even with my sore ribs. My ribs.
I went to a tiki bar on Saturday.
Did you go to the new one in Hamlin? The
Is that
Speakeasy
Hamlin?
Tiki Bar?
I don't know. Permanent Vacation.
Winter
in
Garden?
Hamlin?
No, I don't know what it's called. There's a Mexican restaurant that's new in Hamlin, right by Popstroke.
Oh.
And it's a Speakeasy Tiki Bar. The restaurant's called Agave Bandito, I think, and inside they have a Speakeasy Tiki Bar of some kind.
What is it called? Agave Bandito.
Agave Bandito, yeah. Not to be confused with Agave Azul, yet another Mexican restaurant in the area.
Agave Bandito. How do you figure out the speakeasy part?
I'm not sure. They told me it's on Open Table, and they open at 4. But I haven't been there
Speakeasy.
yet.
It's on Open Table. No one will ever find it.
Yeah. I don't know. I looked at it. I almost booked it. I was going to go. I went out with our friend Axel yesterday. Hadn't seen him forever. And I was like, "Do you want to?" He loves tiki bars. I was like, "Do you want to do this?" He's like, "Can we just go to Gators?" I think he had his heart set on just simple sports bar, forgettable
Maya Speak
experience.
Tiki.
Is that
A
what it is?
hidden tiki bar with modern vibes in Winter Garden, Hamlin. Tucked inside Agave Bandito. Okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
I want to go.
Oh, it's pretty.
Yeah. It looks awesome. So
Permanent Vacation. Number one, some of the servers are formerly from Trader Sam's. So there is a server.
where is it?
I used to have a Trader Sam's. It's in what is that?
Is it like far away or nearby?
It's like downtown Orlando, a little past downtown Orlando.
Okay. But not like all the way to Sanford, like Suffering Bastard.
No. No, it's closer than that. They are Maitland.
That's out there.
It's out there,
Yeah.
but it didn't feel that bad. The drive home didn't feel bad. Lake Avenue in Maitland. they're technically a speakeasy, although it's very labeled. So
Ow.
like Trader Sam.
I laughed. That one hurts.
So I
Sniffling and
can't make
laughing.
you laugh the next
No, you
hour?
can't. It has to be a big belly laugh, though. Like you have to tell your Burns review again or something that just gets me going. That's
So, I won't name the person, but there's a server who was my favorite server at Sam's, who I haven't seen in many years. Obviously, figured he was gone from there, and he was there, and I was overjoyed with that. But then also, he had some great recommendations. The menu was, we had tried many drinks; they were all spectacular. The food was very good. There are effects for drinks, just like Trader Sam's, but overall more chill, adult vibe, just very laid back. It's like Trader Sam's if the drinks were, I don't want to say good, because I think Trader Sam's drinks are okay. If the drinks were amazing at Trader Sam's and the vibe was less Disney, like a little more adult and a little more laid back. I'd say permanent vacation.
I like Tiki for the vibe more than I do for the drinks. And I think when I went to that Tiki A Go-Go event, I think you were in Japan when we did this, I learned that there are factions of Tiki that are like, some are into the craft cocktail side, some are into that like retro feel, some are into that sort of like fantasy exotic setting, and some are into all of it. So I just happen to like the Tiki vibe. I'm kind of incorporating I have to invite you over when we get my bourbon bar open. It's going to have a little bit of a vibe like that, right? We play the sort of Tiki exotica music and all that stuff. And
I've been told when Rosanna and I get officially our own place, like obviously, I've been told we're not gonna go all Disney. You know, a lot of my stuff lives here at the office. It's in the museum, etc. But I would be allowed to have a mid-century modern Tiki bar aesthetic, which obviously leans into a lot of the Polynesian furniture and stuff we have.
Okay.
And so I think my Aunt Teresa has offered to do a bamboo roof for whatever space this ends up being eventually. And so, yeah, it's a thing. Disney men in their 30s and 40s and 50s all want a Tiki room, bar room.
I'm leaning away from Tiki, but into this sort of exotic, like it's more of a Jock Lindsay's bourbon bar is going to be. You've seen my office,
Explorers or Adventurers Club,
right? You've been in my office, and I have more lighting and more effects, and I had to redo it to incorporate my bourbon collection, which has been evicted from the rest of the house into my office, and so but it looks good so far. Lee is very helpful in this regard and has gone through, and we've removed everything from the walls, all the knickknacks and all the shelves, and started from a blank canvas and are reincorporating things now. And now I get to go to Vegas while all of my stuff is kind of out in the hallway still. So, what I've done so far is good. I have the diving helmet with a glass skull inside that lights up. You know, I have the fun stuff. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, Vegas, I'm very excited.
Did you take your helmet back from the museum?
Yes, I took my helmet back from the museum.
Now I got to find something to put there.
Home goods every
You
now
didn't
and then.
tell me.
Oh, I took it a long time ago.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, we closed the museum.
Oh, I haven't been up there because that part's closed. Now I have to find
I
a
took my
prop.
Mr. Toad too.
That's good to know. I'll have to find a prop.
Yeah.
What Mr. Toad?
Where he's holding the deed to Toad Hall, the little figurine.
We had yours?
Yeah, we had mine for a while.
Well, that changed, so there's no room for that now, so that's fine.
That's good.
But I got to put something in that 20K display. This is a good transition to talk about the museum and an event that is now on sale. For those of you, there's probably many of you coming to the Orlando area at the end of the month for something called Destination D23. I believe it puts about 2,000 people. And now Coronado, it's not the Contemporary anymore. Weird. So now Coronado Springs, and that's taking place over it's Labor Day.
Labor Day,
Yeah. The Labor Day holiday weekend. And so we wanted to we closed sections of the museum off a couple weeks ago. And the idea is there are going to be major changes. There are going to be new attraction props and all new things to see, and it'll be very exciting when it does return. It's going to return on September 1st, and we're making this a whole one-day event based around this sort of reopening of the museum and our studio space and the like. We call it, if there's Destination D23, we are the Detour WDWNT, and thus the name of our event. What's happening that day is we have a live recording of News Today with WDW News Today, which is something we do from time to time. So you can come see how the sausage is made. essentially, in regards to that show. But in addition, throughout the day, several different time slots, we are going to have museum tours of the newly updated museum with myself leading them. Then beyond that, it's going to culminate in an event in the evening that is something the likes of which we've never done. We decided we've done so many events where Imagineers just come and talk, and it's very passive. And that's great. I love hearing those stories, and I think everyone does too. But we wanted to do something that was a little more fun and something a little different. In this case, Paul Osterhout's going to lead a team of Imagineers, former Imagineers, who are going to teach us over the course of a lesson how you begin to design a brand new theme park. How do you, from blank paper, come up with the concept for a new park that fits the needs of who's asked for it, whether it be where it's going, the company that wants it built, how much is the budget, what's the climate, etc. What are all the factors, and how do you go about making a theme park from scratch given those factors? So there's going to be essentially a course on how to design a theme park from scratch. And then the room is going to be separated into groups who will then go off on their own and design their own new theme park. And you'll take that new theme park at the end, you'll present it, and the Imagineers will critique your work and tell you what works, what doesn't work. This is essentially, for many of us, the closest we'll ever get to being a Disney Imagineer. So we're very excited about this. It's something interesting and different and new. As of recording, I believe registration is only open to our WIGS members at this time. They have first crack. They also have a discount. But there is a discount for buying the full event, which means you get one tour, you pick the time slot, you get to come to News Today being filmed, and you get as well to be a part of that very special event in the evening. And that is discounted by $20 already if you buy the bundle, but further discounted for WIGS members. So events.wdw.com is where the tickets are going to be available to the general public. I think Wednesday they're going to go to the general public. Right now they are WIGS members only. So we have very limited space. I think 80 bundles is all we're selling. And when they're gone, they're gone. So don't delay if you'd like to join us September 1st, 2025. Here in Celebration, we are a stone's throw from Walt Disney World, about 5 minutes from the edge of Disney property. Come join us. It'll be a fun day. And I think it'll be something different and interesting. And the museum is so different from anything Disney or anyone offers. And on top of that, to have this really kooky, interactive event, the likes of which we've never done or anyone's ever done, I think it's going to be a memorable day.
I'm looking forward to all of these events. And by the way, yes, we do plug our stuff on here. The magnets and the inflatable Gertie
I didn't bring them over.
are selling like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Magnets, we might be sold out. Gertie is
real close.
I can't believe how many inflatable dinosaur Gerties we've sold. Thank you to all of you who've purchased them. We are terrifyingly close to like an important number that we had worked out ahead of time in our predictions. And I can't thank you all enough for the incredible response. My new favorite thing is watching in Slack as our orders go through to see how many there are. It's really fun.
For those that aren't aware what Eric's talking about, we are selling an 8-foot tall, 10-foot long inflatable Santa Gertie dinosaur. It lights up. It comes with the ropes and the, what do you call it?
The fan that inflates it and the stakes?
It inflates. It's self-inflating, yeah, like our egos. And they are available for pre-order now, $150, $149.99. WIGS member discount does apply. And we have 1,000. And the timeline for this holiday season does not really allow us to order more. They're ordered. Yeah. We can't add more.
If we want to get them by Christmas in time for like December 1st shipping, we just can't.
If we add more on, they don't make it for the holidays. And what's the point of having a holiday inflatable?
We had to guess how many we would be able to sell, and I think we made a pretty good guess, and I'm really proud of this one. So
1,000 of those. But the magnets were blown away. They were made as a giveaway for Tampa Bay Comic-Con, but then so many people asked, well, what are you going to do with what you have left over? If we have any left over, we're like, well, we have some. And we put them online and they like sold out immediately. So we made more. But the second batch is, I believe, it. I think we're going to do the second batch and then they're gone. But this is the beginning of a series. So these 3 are the first 3 in the series. There's Gertie the dinosaur, there's Sunny Eclipse, and there's the Carnotaur from Dinosaur. These are the beginning of a monthly series. In September, we will kick off the monthly series. The way this will work is either you can buy them individually, the ones you want, or there will be a subscription.
The Magnet of the Month Club?
It is essentially the Magnet of
You
the
can give
Month
it to your
Club.
employees as a bonus
They
at
are
Christmas
a
time.
parody.
Like the jelly.
But they'd actually be happy about this one. They are a parody of the Disney World pass holder magnets, but with the characters that you and I actually want on them. So that's what we're doing. It'll be for 12 months, and based on the success of that, we may go further. But they will be all park-related things, but in that style. So we'll have more details soon. In the meantime, if you want to buy the 3 that exist, they're at carouselproducts.com. They're $8 each or 3 for $20. You could also mix and match with our existing event magnets. If you like Skippy from Alien Encounter or the Waldo Let's Burn Rubber from Muppet Vision, those are still there. You can combine them into that offer. We're very, very overwhelmed with the response people have had to that. We thank you for the support, and hopefully you guys want more of them, and we'll cover your whole car in them. Or your fridge.
I've started seeing them around town.
Have you?
Yes. I've seen 3.
Outside of this parking lot.
Yes. I've seen
They weren't
3.
people that worked for us.
No.
Oh, I want to just drive around town now and see
I've
if I
seen
find
3.
them.
I've seen people posting them online.
Oh.
I've seen the magnets are
That's so
everywhere.
cool.
So I'm super stoked about that.
I think we started
You
a
could-
trend.
You could put them in your tiki bar when you get one.
And then last but not least, I want to mention we do have the shirts for the Farewell of Dinosaur. I counted down to extinction. Those are in limited quantities. Now, I will tell you, I think we're going to order more. I don't think we have several months until the attraction closes. Yeah. People clearly like them, so we're going to order more of those. So I'm not going to tell you, hurry now, they're going to sell out. But if you do have a trip coming up and you want to wear something to mark your farewell for Dinosaur, we're really proud of the design. I think it turned out great. So
CarouselOfProducts.com. Who knew that we were going to morph from a news organization into a magnet company?
I mean, if you look at how this company started because of pins, so
yeah,
like it's not a weird. It's actually like going back to our roots. We're at our core Disney merchandise people. So this isn't surprising what has happened.
Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm stoked about all of it, and I'm stoked about your tiki bar idea. I think instead of a tiki bar, you should do the lounge at the Peppermill in Vegas. Once Rosanna sees it, she'll make you do it.
We have to go to Peppermill.
But not negotiable.
Do you want me to explain? Should I explain another
Have we
place?
talked about it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
But your explanations are so good.
Last week I explained Burns. Now I will explain the Peppermill. The Peppermill is a diner, but that description does a disservice to the Peppermill. There is a lounge side of said diner. That is, if you go in at night, in my head, it just feels like the reflection of neon off of a bumper of a car is all I remember that room being.
But dark.
It's neon, dark and neon and reflective and just the coolest vibe. And I don't know, like it's like living inside a bumper with neon reflecting off of it.
If the electric umbrella had a child with like a 70s lounge, that's it's the electric umbrella in 70s Vegas lounge.
But then there's a diner side.
We've shown a clip of it before.
I think so. Then there's a diner side, a traditional diner side.
Mirrored everything.
It's like pooky. It's a lot of plants.
Yeah, a lot of plants. I think it's like mirrored stuff and like plants hanging over all the.
But almost like it's like someone bought an 80s Taco Bell and converted it.
No, it's
you don't
a
think
little
so?
bit more.
It's got a little bit of that going too.
No, I think 80s Taco Bell is like brown and tan, and then they went to the purple scheme. The purple,
that's
maybe
90s. That 90s Taco Bell I'm thinking of.
But I don't know. God, I love that place. And we've talked about it before. You all already know if you've watched enough episodes. I don't know. Who knows what episode we talked about it on, but I think we even showed a clip of it before. So.
Yeah, there's the interior. Oh man, the stained glass lamps. Yeah, there's like trees.
Yeah.
Are they trees or are they coming from the ceiling?
I'm not really sure. There's like overflowing greenery.
There are trees.
Though. Yeah.
There are like flamingo stained glass lights. It's wild in there.
I don't even want to go there to eat, Tom. I just want to go to the lounge.
But in Vegas, like it's you have some drinks and you want like greasy diner food. I love diner food so much.
Yeah.
The number one thing I miss about living in the Northeast is diners.
Oh, but it depends. Jason and I will go to the mat on this one, but I'm not eating scrapple. That's where I draw the line.
I'm not talking about like weird
that diner
Philly
culture
diners.
of like Philly and like is it Delaware and
no, we're talking
Jersey.
We're talking about the weird. No, Jersey has good diners, but like we're talking about the ones not far from New York.
Yeah.
Like you want that menu like that's just too big. It's laminated and it's too big.
It sticks together.
Everything. Pizza burger. If there's not a pizza burger on the menu, it's not a diner. You got to have that weird garbage.
I don't know that I've ever had a pizza burger.
You got to have it. We're going to go to the Golden Eagle in the Bronx someday, Eric, when you drive my parents' stuff down here. We're going to stop at the Golden Eagle and get
and their favorite Italian place. I forgot what that's called.
What's our favorite? Oh, the Pizza and Brew?
Pizza and Brew, but your mom, there was
Pizza
another
and
one,
Brew.
and you said your mom thought it was the best, but then she was like, I think it went out of business. I don't know.
No, Pasta.
Pasta.
I love pasta. Pasta is legitimately amazing. This is niche Bronx.
Are we going to go to Italy in Vegas?
I mean, we're staying at the Park MGM, so
Yeah, it's right there.
we're going to Best Friend, though.
Okay.
Best Friend. I'm not even going to start to explain that one. It's even weirder.
I'm going to go to Mon Ami Gabi, hopefully Beer Park.
What is Mon Ami Gabi?
It's that restaurant on the street level at Paris.
Oh,
It's just a nice spot.
stayed there. I
Good
didn't even
people
see that.
watching. Yeah, it's good.
okay.
That was the place where my sister and I went to Vegas for Christmas one year. I was going through a divorce, and my sister and I were like, let's. And so we went to Vegas together, and we went there, and I think she had too much to drink because the next day she goes, well, you're welcome. I was like, what? She's like, for the $240 dinner at Mon Ami Gabi. And I was like, Hillary, we split it. And she's like, oh, no. It was $240 a piece. I was like, yeah, we might have gotten some wine or something. So
Probably.
it was a long time ago. Not that long ago. But anyway, do we want to move on to today's topic, or is there anything else you want to cover before we get out? Okay,
Just get on with it.
All right.
People complain.
So we've talked on previous episodes about this, and if you've clicked on this, you saw the thumbnail, you know our topic is going to be sponsorships at Epcot.
What a
There's a
riveting
long
topic.
history of sponsorships at Epcot, but a lot of people find this interesting because Epcot was hard to separate the sponsor from the attraction for a lot of people. You know, a lot of stuff came out of these sponsorships that is part of, it's ingrained in us as the culture of like what I think a lot of people would call like peak Epcot or maybe 90s Epcot or even earlier Epcot.
I will say, as a child of 80s Epcot, I find that as an adult, I've made purchases that are very much connected to a brand loyalty I built through an Epcot attraction. I drive a Chevrolet car today. I think that is purely because of Test Track.
I really can't think of any other good excuse for driving a Chevy. Sorry.
I had very little problems with the car. I love it. Other than the roof peeling paint thing.
Where do we start? Do we start with Spaceship Earth
think we
right
have to
there?
start
The
Spaceship
park
Earth,
icon, the center of everything, the first thing you see when you walk in there. Spaceship Earth, first sponsor in 1982 by Bell System. You talked about that on
I think
was it
that
the last
sparked
episode?
this, yeah.
Yeah, that's part of what sparked it because you were struggling with that a little bit. Bell System, telephone stuff, communication makes sense, right? That's what, and that morphed into AT&T.
You know what happens a lot in communication systems? You get bought.
You get bought, or
merge.
you change, or you merge, or the government makes you break up.
Yeah. So AT&T, I believe, was an acquisition. So it became AT&T. But then that led to the 1986 refurbishment of Spaceship Earth, which for some people, like, look, 1982 Spaceship Earth is not a slouch, but I think the affinity for Spaceship Earth was probably not in the conversation for the best attraction at Epcot on opening day. I think the Spaceship Earth you have from 1986 onward, you start to have that conversation. You have better scenes in the descent portion. You have a song that people cannot erase from their memory. You have narration from Walter Cronkite, who was considered the most
OG.
trusted person in America at that point. And then the 1994 version, I think, Jason and I disagree on some things, like Spectro Magic versus Electro Parade. But there's that moment in that conversation where we both look at each other and you're like, your thing was still great. I just prefer mine. And that's the Spectro versus Electro Parade argument. That same argument, I think, is had if you love the 1986 Spaceship Earth or the 1994. They're both great. They're just different, and neither answer is wrong. If you think one is better than the other, I think we can agree to disagree on that. But those are the two preeminent versions of that attraction.
And AT&T, I believe, also sponsored the Age of Information in Communicore. Back in the day, they had that Bringing the World Closer to You. It's really cool. I don't know if you've ever seen it, actually. It's very old.
Yeah.
But all the really cool like artwork, this sort of arts and crafts style look that I really like. AT&T they had their fingerprints all over the park. Then in
Wait, were they? Now I'm like second guessing myself. It was AT&T came in 86, no?
Yeah, so 84.
Oh, but then 2 years later they wanted
wanted the refurb, right?
Yeah, to reflect their vision, yeah.
And then that post-show closed in 2004. So during that time, if you remember, early Epcot, getting out of Spaceship Earth, where you go now for what's called Project Tomorrow.
Today, Project Tomorrow.
Yeah. That was where they had, among other things, world key information, which is, if you don't know what I'm sure we've touched on this a dozen times. Well, if you don't know what world key information was, you would get on a TV screen and you could make a reservation at a restaurant.
It was guest relations via monitor.
Yeah. But I mean, at the time, very high tech, right?
Yeah.
They're sitting in another part of the park. There were different world key information stands throughout Epcot, primarily concentrated, though, right there in the post-show of
That and
Spaceship Earth.
the other major section, I would say, was outside of guest relations.
They had some like in Germany, I think. They had some in different parts of the park.
There were like two in Germany. They were there were standalone ones.
But I mean, that is how a large number of people made their dining reservations in the park.
Oh, because it was part of the experience.
It was part of the
Like,
experience.
Oh, cool.
And you didn't have online, you basically, if you didn't know the 407 WDW Dine, that's how you would make your dining reservations. It was pretty cool. Same day, usually, you would make those dining reservations. You had a friendly face on the other side of the monitor.
It's the communication pavilion, so it made perfect sense. Like, what is the future of communication? It's
perfect integration,
face-to-face,
right?
wherever you are. Like, and they weren't wrong, right? They obviously, look, the predictions of the video phone go back, 50s? They go back a long, long time. But, Epcot was about the things that were, I think, within reach. Yeah. Like the things that were just around the corner. And they weren't wrong. What I love is 1994 Spaceship Earth. You look at that ending and how true that is to what was just around the corner. Like people sharing important moments in their life when they can't be together, seamlessly with video. Like, oh, your new baby brother, you mean your new baby sister, blah, 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 whatever that scene was where your family has a new, new sibling brought into the world, or the graduation, they watch the graduation from afar, or the kids, the kid in Japan talking to the kid in the United States in that scene at the very top, and
for those of you that are of a younger generation too, AT&T was sponsoring this right at a point where there weren't cell phones.
Yeah.
Or if there were cell phones, they were very heavy, expensive, cumbersome, and weren't necessarily like AT&T was more a leader in landline telephone back then. Which, look, AT&T landline is, no matter what people say, everything's wireless, whatever, but most of these things are delivered by a landline. They might make their final trip to you over the air, but AT&T's got, fiber optics everywhere. Your house, you got cable. People say, cut the cord. I cut the cord. Well, did you? How are you getting internet in your house?
Yeah.
Most of those people have
that
a cable modem.
1994 version is about like the progression up to the telephone, and then it's, what will the wires do tomorrow? And the answer in 1994 is the internet, which plenty of people had already, but it's about what will the internet allow us to do moving forward.
Wires going everywhere, different colors.
Oh, it was all fiber optic, and the whole ending was like the wires become this big net, and you have this wave of colors sweeping over you with this emotional score. That 1994 score, man, that was where it's at. It's where it's at. I love it. Most emotional, beautiful piece of music. It would get me every time when a trip was winding down. We had a very set regiment in a Disney vacation for the longest time. It was, day 1 Magic Kingdom, day 2 Epcot, day 3 MGM, day 4 Animal Kingdom, and then Downtown Disney because it wasn't a full day park. Then day 5, back to Epcot, and then or maybe Magic Kingdom and then Epcot. But either way, second to last day, and you start to get those I'm going home blues.
Yeah.
And what would always get me is, for some reason, that's when we ride Spaceship Earth later in the evening, and it would dawn on me that the trip is ending, and that very emotional score, do, 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 and I'm in tears there, I don't want to go home.
So in 2005, then Siemens took over sponsorship.
Yeah.
Siemens also funded Project Tomorrow post-show, maintained a VIP lounge, which is now Geo 82.
The AT&T 90s post-show was Global Neighborhood, and then there was an updated one, the new Global Neighborhood.
Yeah, so Siemens until 2017.
Yeah,
So
and now we just have the skeleton of what they gave us. This husk that's dying every day.
I went through there the other day. I filmed the ride, and I got to the post-show, and I'm like, what's there to film? Nothing works. Half of the stuff is turned off. Nobody's in it. It's pretty rough. It's pretty
when that
rough.
opened, a lot of that was really cool. Power Cities, the one where you use I don't know what to call it. Kind of
it was kind of like a broom thing.
The broom.
It was like a shuffleboard type of thing.
Yeah, shuffleboard. That's the word I was looking for. It was super fun.
Yeah.
That was super fun. The postcard thing is fun enough, although it ruined the ending of that attraction. They killed the ending. That Jib Jab video ending is an atrocity that needs to be repaired.
I like driving the car.
The car one was good too. They were all at least fun enough. It was worth stopping for a few minutes and doing it. Power Cities I thought was very creative. Projection on the floor and you interact with it via this shoving the.
When I was there the other day, I don't know how long that's been down, but definitely it was 100% roped off. None of them.
Sometimes that just closes early because it needs manpower. It requires.
Well, this was at noon.
Some days maybe just someone doesn't show up.
Just
they don't bother. I couldn't tell you. I don't go in there very much anymore, so I don't know what the current situation is like. But
Spaceship Earth. Oh, move to Universe of Energy, or Ellen's Energy Adventure.
Yeah.
ExxonMobil from 1982 to 2004. 22-year run.
It started as Exxon, and Exxon was the sponsor when the new version came about, when Ellen came about. But then they had a merger, and it became ExxonMobil. So for post-show, that really didn't have a post-show. There were some Exxon ads. There was a little bit of stuff at the exit, not really anything, but they expected you to go to the Energy Exchange. They expected you to do the legwork, go to Communicore, and go to the Exxon Energy Exchange exhibit. So it wasn't even in the building. You had to go to Interventions, Communicore, and see that.
Yep. So that partnership ended in 2004, and the pavilion ended up ultimately closing in 2017.
It lived so long after the sponsor left. Usually that's the end. So we'll talk about
the dinosaurs had actually started turning into petroleum at that point.
When we talk about Horizons, you'll see the normal flow of sponsor leaves and what happened. What was for many years the normal flow after that would take place. Universe Energy was not the normal flow. That thing just stayed alive. They just left it. Yeah. Spaceship Earth is kind of living that out right now, where that sponsor left and there was an idea for an update and everyone kind of went, And that's what happened with Universe Energy was there were ideas. Tim Delaney at Epcot 40 talked about one of the things he had pitched to fix that, which was a roller coaster, in fact, and that kicked around for a while, became the Big Bang Coaster, and eventually became Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. But that was sponsored. When Tim was working on that, they had a sponsor that was going to be there.
Well, World of Motion. This is a simple one. World of Motion and Test Track, both sponsored by General Motors. Let's see,
Still
82 to 92. Then they did Test Track. That became GM. Well, it was GM, General Motors, then shortened to GM for Test Track. Then presented by Chevrolet starting in 2012.
After the reorganization, after the bailout, they decided to focus on the Chevy brand. And then now we're back to presented by General Motors.
They're back to General Motors again.
But they're the only sponsor from day one to today.
All along, look, nothing made more sense than wanting to be associated with World of Motion, right? A lot of these things, I think they had to talk to a lot of different companies that people didn't necessarily know where they fit, right? Here's a massive company with a huge market cap that wants to spend their marketing dollars in a smart way, and they're not sure, like, how are we associated exactly with the seas? Or, we know we're into science, we're kind of into everything, but it's really a great fit. Really, AT&T as well, right? Oh, you have a ride about communication. That works. General Motors for Test Track. Universe of Energy, it works to have an energy company, but it could have been almost anyone.
Siemens kind of ruined Spaceship Earth because it really is the story of communication, and instead they're like, it's the story of human, ingenuity and innovation. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's still the history of communication.
A robot will dog sit for you.
Like, suddenly the ending is about like all these other things you can do, but I'm like, this is still all communications. You didn't change anything.
It doesn't really work. I hate the descent on Spaceship Earth.
It's terrible. They ruined it. That used to be my favorite part of the ride, and they murdered it brutally. And I will tell you this, Disney, if the next version of Spaceship Earth is not themed to communication, you might as well burn it down.
Yeah.
Just make it what it's about. Like,
oh, we got some communication for you. It's going to be a finger.
Touching the touchscreen.
I want to talk about Horizons. Obviously,
of course you do.
The greatest Disney attraction ever conceived, the most grand, just a huge budget-busting, blockbuster attraction that, unfortunately, for various reasons, the building no longer exists. But it was General Electric from 83 to 93. Then they operated without a sponsor until 1994 when it closed, and it reopened, then it permanently closed in It's a sad tale.
It reopens seasonally a lot every year.
Yeah. It's a sad tale of watching something slowly die.
But the truth is Horizons really existed for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, Disney didn't know what to do with it. They thought they were going to build a space pavilion there in the 90s. There were a million ideas. It kept getting close, and then it didn't happen. There were other sponsors, not GE. GE left. GE was gone. But there were ideas for other sponsors to come in and sponsor a space pavilion. And finally, by the end of the 90s, they got Mission Space in line and began to move forward with that. But in the case of GE, that is a sponsor that carried over. They were the sponsors of the Carousel of Progress at the World's Fair.
Yeah.
That carried over to when the Carousel of Progress moved to Disneyland. It carried on to Disney World when it moved there. And that's why Horizons was a direct sequel to Carousel of Progress. This is wild. This seems today like such a natural idea to have an attraction that's a sequel. We live in this age of where there's all these connected universes in film and in even novels and everything. But in 1983 to be like, we're going to like make a sequel to a theme park attraction.
Yeah. This is not Son of Beast, right? This is This is
the
like a really
Carousel of
deeply
Progress
themed.
Got a sequel.
Yeah. And just a quick note, and I learned this. The Retro Disney World podcast, Retro WDW podcast, I've listened to from time to time, and they had a really great 3-part special on Horizons. One of the things you know if you're a Disney fan is that Walt never said, "If we can dream it, we can do it." A lot of people attribute that to Tom Fitzgerald, who did work on Horizons and is involved in his face and image are on Horizons.
Yeah.
But what they uncovered was there was a woman who was actually an ad copywriter. She was involved in creating ads. I don't know the exact term for what her job was, but she worked for an ad agency. And they go, "Oh, we're doing this thing. We're putting together a deck to pitch to GE." And she said to GE, if on this thing, it said, "If we can dream it, we can do it," or "If you can dream it, you can do it." Whatever the words were that she used. It wasn't for Horizons. It was just for a standard like GE promotional campaign. Then they were sponsoring Horizons, and they adopted that, and everyone thought that came from Walt Disney. I don't know why people thought that came from Walt Disney, but you'll see, I've seen Disney themselves at times a long time
I own
ago.
a Hallmark plaque that says, "If you could dream it, you could do it, Walt Disney."
Yeah.
Because I bought it because I was like, this is funny. I would like this. But that was typical of that time is their ads. Like, these attractions are meant to inspire and edutain, but they were advertisements for these companies. So it wasn't weird that their slogans appeared in attractions.
Right.
Like, in fact, the We Bring Good Things to Life song is in the background music of
Yes.
Horizons with the GE theme of the time.
This is an attraction that kept getting kind of bigger and bigger, and the budget kept getting bigger and bigger. They were pushing boundaries. They were doing things that no one had ever done in a theme park attraction with so many audio animatronics and so many these big like IMAX screens, the OmniMax screens, and the projection technology and all the things they were doing. This was a big budget attraction, and it was huge, massive. In fact, I think because of the perspective, when you stood down kind of below, it was kind of a rise to go up to it. It looked big, but I think it was actually bigger in reality than it looked from far away.
It went way back.
It went way back. Massive building, which there's a million rumors as to whether or not that building had structural issues that were behind sort of the maintenance costs of the ride.
I don't know that I believe that. I know like there are plans from the 90s that I have that show that building like repurposed as Journeys in Space, which was the name of the pavilion at one point. Delta was going to sponsor Journeys in Space, fun fact. Where like the Mission Space ride's in there, it's segmented, it's part of that building, but there's other stuff in there, including like the weird spacewalk ride where you're in like a chair and floating around. I tend to think they just landed on the Mission Space concept and they realized like
what a mistake.
They're like, this is an e-ticket and we need to build, in order to build this attraction, you need to dig down deep and we have to have
it's a big mistake.
Supports and there's no doubt. Look, at the same time, I do think Mission Space was an admirable idea. It was how do you take theme park guests on the closest they'll ever get to the real experience of going to space. I think it was too much. I think from a story perspective, it's not strong. Like I think that was the base of their problem. There weren't memorable characters. There wasn't a story that captured people's emotions like Disney attractions are meant to. It was a really cool technological advancement that just didn't work out.
And it's just another simulator right now. It's an intense simulator, but in an era when they just were crapping out, simulator rides every time they could.
But Orange is so different from anything else out there. The real G-forces you feel. Yeah. That's an incredible experience. Unfortunately, it's not very repeatable. It's not something everyone can do. It's from a storytelling perspective, it's very weak.
Yeah. Poor Horizons.
Do you want to talk about Mission? Or you have Mission Space coming later? Should we just talk about it now?
Yeah, you want to talk it now?
So Compaq was the sponsor.
HP,
Compaq had it. No, you're not there
yet.
They
became HP, yeah.
Compaq, there was a countdown center and interventions with the clock ticking to the opening, and Compaq was a sponsor. And then Compaq, I guess, got bought by HP.
Or they merged, or they were purchased.
Something
they got absorbed by HP.
Yeah. So HP ended up with this thing, and according to legend and lore, rumor and innuendo, is that HP didn't want it, but it was too late. Like, it's already paid for. They're like, well, we're slapping our name on it, I guess. And they didn't want to be there. And so, like, when the sponsorship did end, they were out. Like a couple of years ago, they were like, yeah, we're out. Bye.
I like to think their strategy was like they wanted to change the mission. So you like wake up and they wake you up after you've been in cryo sleep or whatever. Yeah. And they're like, quickly, we need another ink cartridge to print out our instructions. Who should we call? HP.
Oh my God. But what year did they leave?
Oh gosh, 2013.
Oh yeah. So the 10-year mark, the 10-year deal expired. Yeah. They left, and then Disney made the ultimate mistake of not ripping the ride down, but trying to fix it, which I think it was an admirable update. Like, I think they did a good job, but its time has come. Yeah. Its time has come. The problem is now they hooked Space 220 onto the end of this thing, and so now like there's some challenge to replacing the attraction and the pavilion because there's no way Space 220 is going anywhere.
No, that's, I'm sure, a lucrative deal for them.
I think very lucrative.
That real estate pays well. All right. The Land, sponsored by Kraft from 1982 to 1992. Then it was Nestle from January 1st of 1993 to February 13th of 2009. And after Nestle, no pavilion-wide sponsor, but Living with the Land, as many of you probably recall, did have Chiquita from 2011 to 2020.
Yeah.
So You could at least talk about bananas. You know, they have bananas. What that is a good match, right? Nothing that interesting about the Land
Kraft
Pavilion.
still existed, right?
Yeah, Kraft still exists. They both exist.
Nestle didn't own them.
No,
They're
I don't think
separate things.
Yeah, Kraft is still a thing. They just bowed out.
Is it still a thing?
Yeah.
I know Disney like entered a lot of business deals with Nestle, right? Because that's the era of like Nestle chocolate promoting Disney animated movies. Think about the Wonder Ball comes to mind. Do you ever have a Nestle Wonder Ball?
No.
What's in a Wonder Ball? It was a song.
No, I've never even heard of it.
It was a chocolate ball, and inside would be sweet tarts that were shaped like Disney characters. There'd also be like, I gotta pull this up.
But I have to tell you, Lee and I went to Indiana one time to visit her parents, and on their way to their house, there was a Nestle factory, and outside is like a 40-foot tall bunny. Remember the Nestle Quick bunny?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd love him. He's great.
So Kraft Foods became Kraft Heinz in 2015 when they merged with Heinz. So yeah, I guess nothing really happened then. They just maybe Disney decided they wanted to deal with Nestle.
Maybe Kraft was done. It was a nice 10-year. It was a nice round 10-year sponsorship, and they're like, all right.
They just were like, all right, we're good. Yeah.
We're not selling enough mac and cheese here.
For those that don't know, the original lineup is Listen to the Land, Kitchen Cabaret, and Symbiosis, the most boring thing Disney has ever produced. Don't look it up. It's awful. That was the film. And then when...
Kind of a history of that in that theater, I think.
Circle of Life and Environmental Fables was fine. So that's the 94-ish update is Living with the Land, where you lose the song, unfortunately, on Listen to the Land, which was a mistake, but still a good attraction. Living with the Land, Food Rocks, and Circle of Life and Environmental Fable. And then still under, I think Nestle, what year did Nestle leave?
Nestle bowed out in 2009.
I was going to say they were still there for Soarin'. The Nestle logo was on the Soarin' sign at one point. So Nestle hung on when Soarin' came in. Food Rocks closed, and they put Soarin' in there. And then they're no real sponsor. Chiquita is part of a overall deal with the Walt Disney Company, a corporate alliance, if you will. Chiquita ended up on Living with the Land, but that wasn't really a sponsorship necessarily. It didn't mean anything to the ride.
The Living Seas. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll go to Living Seas.
Yeah.
United Technologies from 86 to 98. After they left, the pavilion ran without a title sponsor.
And still to this day.
And I don't know, maybe it's because none of you ran out and bought enough United Technologies products.
I don't know about you, but once I... Never mind. They don't make Texas Instruments, right? Is that a different...
I have no
That's
idea
not
what they make. Are they a DOD contractor? What do they do? They make
No.
submarines or something? I don't know what United
They make
Technologies
things you
does.
could buy, can't they?
I don't know. I have no idea. They didn't really do a great job of educating me on what they do.
Apparently they didn't.
It sounds very generic. Sounds like a DOD
They were
contractor to me.
eventually acquired by Raytheon, which became a
is DoD.
sponsor at Epcot.
Yeah.
They made aircraft engines, aerospace systems,
Yeah.
HVAC, elevators and escalators, fire and security, building automation, industrial products. I don't know. What were they trying to push at that time?
I don't know. Missile systems?
I guess, yeah, Texas Instruments was the... Why was I thinking of Texas Instruments? I don't know why.
I don't know.
But yeah, that was a weird one. That was a weird one.
Journey into Imagination, the Imagination Pavilion, Kodak from 82 to 2010. Kodak left in 2010 and no sponsor since then.
No.
Too bad. I really like that. It's not so much that Imagination is associated with photography as I felt like the color scheme of Kodak's logo and the idea of using the colors associated with the Imagination Pavilion worked very well with the film company. So obviously Kodak
there was a weird, beautiful alignment for some reason, like that ending of the original Journey to Imagination where Figment's in the middle of that room and it's the film reel above and it's all the places. Because think of photography, it's like you capture all the places you've gone in the world and all the moments in your life, and Figment saying you could be anything, and all those moments are captured on film at the end. And the first on-ride photo in theme park history
Yeah.
resided at the end of this, which is a beautiful thing. I think it worked wonderfully. And then who could ever forget those pre-shows to the 3D film, True Colors and Making Memories,
True Colors. Like it told a beautiful story, and it was integrated in a way that maybe you wouldn't naturally. Like obviously, like we said, GM and World of Motion. Well, that really makes sense. That's pretty on the hitting a nail on the head. Same with AT&T and communication. Kodak, really, they had to do a good job of weaving that story in there, and I think it became inseparable from the attraction almost. If you ask me what. Hey, what do you remember from early Journey into Imagination? It's Kodak. It's the pre-show.
Yeah. Making Memories, like became a song that outlived really that show.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the 3D films made sense. The 3D films were produced on Kodak film.
Yeah.
So the sponsorship at times made a lot of sense. And it was a pavilion that really, if you were any sort of company with any creativity, which many are, it made sense. We sponsor the Imagination Pavilion. Why not? Unfortunately, our friends at Kodak also spelled the demise of everything because they were big on updating the attraction in 1998 when the deal was expiring. And of course, we got Journey into Your Imagination, which was a steaming pile of shit. Excuse my French. We can edit that out.
I think we can say it.
Can we?
I think somebody might be mad at you in the comments.
The worst
but
abomination that's ever been perpetrated on the Disney parks. The actual worst thing. And so, look, I love Kodak for what they gave me originally. But, man, of course, the famous story is that Figment was going to be green. And they were like, that's the colors of Fujifilm. And so he got to be this lovely purple and orange. So thank you. At least Kodak made this guy purple and orange and gave him life. So can't be mad. Can't be too mad.
Wonders of Life. MetLife from 89 to 2001. Now no sponsor ever since. And really, it's only been open seasonally for many, many years now.
MetLife was such a weird deal. Because insurance, right?
Yeah.
Life insurance, but the whole pavilion's about you living longer. The insurance company is promoting you living longer. Also, the involvement of Snoopy, who's a thing at other theme parks. It was just weird. Look, I know people have an affinity for Wonders of Life. And look, I love Cranium Command as much as the next guy, but Body Wars was pretty ugh. I miss the aesthetic of the middle. I miss the weird bicycles.
There's a lot of weird stuff.
The Wonder Cycles, whatever they were, where you'd pedal through Disneyland or other places.
There were little little theater seating that's right there out in the open
Goofy
to watch
About
presentations.
Health, the anatomical players, live entertainment. It was making it me. There's a little theater in the middle.
Yeah.
It was a very complete pavilion in that it had everything. It had exhibits, it had interactive features, it had food and beverage, it had a ride, it had a animatronic show. It had the full menu. The money was there. It was spent. It was a pretty building. I don't knock the Wonders of Life. Was it my favorite pavilion? No. But it was the one that felt like it aged the quickest in my lifetime.
It's pretty nuts that pavilion has just sat empty for a full generation of people, and nobody even says anything. Nobody even mentions it. Hey, what's this over here? Does anyone say that? I don't know. It's kind of tucked away. Nobody really talks about it. You're we almost got the Play Pavilion, which got axed.
I think thankfully, I think they realized that they were behind. Yeah. It was, by the time it opened, everything in there was dated and there wasn't a good look. And to their credit, they just took the loss and were like, all right, let's not open something that we're not going to be happy with and people are going to hate. We'll come back to this when we have something strong. And I give them credit for that. I think that would have been a bomb. So for the best. There
were so many sponsors, Innovations Communicore, rotating exhibit sponsors.
Oh, God.
Notable
Velcro.
ones. IBM, Liberty Mutual.
IBM was there
T-Rowe
forever.
Price, Compaq HP, Whirlpool. Also, Waste Management, where you got to be a garbage man. That was the best one.
My favorite Innovations exhibit of all time.
Yeah.
wheeling the garbage truck. They had a little garbage truck cart. We have a video on this channel, I believe. You wheel the garbage truck around to each station. That and the Great Piggy Bank Adventure.
Yeah.
Two of the most fantastic little interactive exhibits. Piggy Bank was incredible because the thing got heavier as you went along. Like the ingenuity to be like, we can make this thing heavier as you go through the experience and teach kids about savings. Communicorn interventions get knocked a lot. There are a couple of real fantastic shining moments in that space. Where's the Fire?
Yeah.
Which now legendary Imagineer Lenny Smoot worked on the technology for Where's the Fire. It's one of his patents, in fact. I own one of those flashlights.
I remember they had, for a while, they had the Segway. You could ride the
Segway experience.
Do you know? I don't know that I've seen this recently at all. I saw 2 Disney cast members this morning on Segways on Floridian Way, like coming across from where there's there's some sort of cast member area across the street from the Grand Floridian where now you have to park if you're dining at the Grand Floridian. And there were 2 cast members. I don't know if they were security or not. I assume so, but they had high visibility vests covering whatever their costume was. But they're riding Segways.
Remember when the managers at Epcot got to ride them?
Yeah.
Just at random, that's how they would traverse the park. And I was like, this is the coolest thing. My favorite thing to do to them, though, was to stop them to trade pins. They'd be zooming by and I'd be like, can I see your pins, please? And they have to do this.
All right, let's get to World Showcase. The American Adventure, American Express, and Coca-Cola were both sponsors. American Express was first, 82 to the early 2000s. And it's worth noting that there was a time in Disney World's history where American Express was the only credit card accepted on property. Everything, Walt Disney World was cash only for a very long time. I remember going there when it was cash only or American Express. I was too young to have an American Express card. But American Express was deeply entrenched with Walt Disney World at one point. Yeah. So that was 82 to the early 2000s. Coca-Cola did they have 2 sponsors? 82 to 98?
They were
co-sponsors? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Coca-Cola is I think it's probably one of the most easily associated American products out there, Coca-Cola. Yeah. That's one of the big ones. Right?
They were essentially the restaurant was Coke sponsored the Liberty Inn.
This gets into people know these things, but there have been times when Coca-Cola and Pepsi both sponsored different parts of the same park.
Country Bears were Pepsi Cola sponsored.
Yeah.
Pepsi Cola and Frito-Lay.
Yeah. Yeehaw. Norway. It was built by private Norwegian investors consortium with government support. Disney bought this stake in 92. The Norwegian government continued a $200,000 a year promotional funding program through 2002, which is kind of
they
weird.
Bailed quick.
Yeah.
That's 4 years after that opens, and they're like, we're out. And Disney's like, we'll take it.
Now, Lego is not a Norwegian company, but certainly we've heard a lot of things over the years that Lego was a potential investor.
There was talk in a Lego sponsored Dutch pavilion. No,
I thought they were. Are they Dutch?
Aren't they not?
Danish.
Danish. Yeah,
Danish and
pavilion,
Dutch is the same. Yeah.
Yeah, that was talked about.
Yeah,
there's art out.
But
there.
I had heard also that they were just going to sponsor the Norway pavilion. Close enough. It's sort of same type of region, not far away. I don't know. Oh yeah, Danish is Denmark and Dutch is Netherlands. Aren't they? They're from Denmark, right? Am I crazy? Why did I get Danish and Dutch? Yeah, because Denmark's really close to Sweden, not far from Norway.
Danish.
Yeah. Are they Danish?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, Lego is a Danish company. That makes sense. At least they're in the neighborhood right there.
Yeah, so there was a Danish pavilion.
When you go on your Disney cruise to Norway in a very short amount of time, I'm not sure what the route is from Southampton to get there, but when I went, we started in Denmark, and when you leave Denmark, you're looking at Sweden. When you leave the port, you're like, oh, there's Sweden right there. It's right there. So, yeah. All right.
We're the most we're venturing out is the Netherlands. We're going to the Netherlands to go to Efteling.
Yeah.
The Efteling.
You're also going to Stavanger in Norway, a place I've been twice.
Well, yeah, there's the Norway
Enjoy it,
itinerary, yeah. But then after that's over, we're doing London. I've never been to London, so we're going to London for a little bit, and then to the Netherlands to go to the Efteling, and then I just love saying it. It's just so fun to say in the native accent, and then to Paris for predictable shenanigans.
Yeah. Boy, that's how late it is. That's how long today has been. Is that it took us a minute to figure out Danish first.
Yeah, we're not. A lot of things
Please
were
don't
filmed
roast
today. A
us.
lot of 8 to 10 shows were filmed today. So
In
we're
addition to
dying.
like 7 meetings. There's a
a lot
lot.
of
We're trying to
interviews,
cram a
job
week worth of
interviews.
stuff into
Because we
one
both
day
leave
because we're leaving tomorrow.
Yeah.
Morocco, directly sponsored and by the
built.
Moroccan government and built by the Moroccan government for its 1984 debut until Disney took full control, basically post-COVID.
Yeah, when they went bankrupt, essentially.
Yeah, there was a lot of shenanigans going on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Still one of the best pavilions there, really, considering it doesn't have like a real attraction.
They broke the mold.
Cultural immersion in there is so awesome.
It inspired Adventureland and Disneyland Paris, and then even many, many years later, still inspired some of the design elements of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It is a fantastic piece of Imagineering and craftsmanship that it continues to inspire the atmosphere of newer projects.
All right. France, open with multiple private French food and beverage backers like Barton and Gustier and chefs Bocuse, Le Note, and Verger. I don't know how to pronounce these. Today's restaurants are operated by the Bocuse Group. So that's very nice.
Very famous French chef, Paul Bocuse.
Yeah, I'm really bad at French.
That's why it's called Monsieur Paul.
Yeah. The Italy Pavilion in the early years was anchored by Alfredo. That was Alfredo di Roma restaurant group. Patina Group then took over and rethemed
But
it.
they paid for the pavilion, essentially. That's why there's just a restaurant.
Yeah, and this is the family that is behind Fettuccine Alfredo, right?
The New York one, I think the Manhattan Alfredos and the Rome still exist, I believe.
I think there's a couple, around,
Those are the
but
two.
not at Epcot, unfortunately, because I think
Dining plan.
I think it was it's been a huge downgrade ever since.
The dining plan, they really weren't interested in continuing to facilitate the dining plan from a money standpoint for them, and so they walked away, which I miss Alfredo's very dearly.
These are the big chunks of it, right? There's been other sponsor names sprinkled around Epcot over the years. But those
Some
are
of
the
them
big chunks
carried
of it.
further, like Siemens, Sylvania, a Siemens company, was a sponsor of Illuminations at one point. So it's like the nighttime shows have had sponsorships. And again, there's a lot of little things we didn't mention, some stuff in Millennium Village, and it's certainly a lot of interventions in Communicore that we glossed.
Dozens and dozens, like countless people have sponsored exhibits in there. So,
But a good overview. But it seems like this era's mostly over. Like we're not going to see sponsorship at Epcot anymore. Like Spaceship Earth, I don't think they even tried. Spaceship Earth, they Siemens left, and I think they just were like, it's ours now.
yeah.
Like it's just done. They took the lounge and they turned it into a permanent bar.
They're making a lot of money there.
It's not a bad idea.
Not the worst idea.
I would love to know what's going to happen with General Motors still holding on to that pavilion, but there's a nice lounge up there that's still. And then look
I was there recently.
Imagination. They took that and made it a DVC lounge. All these corporate lounges became something. The one in the Land is still, I think it's abandoned. I don't think there's anything. Maybe there's offices back there, but there's some corporate spaces.
That GM lounge is still there because when they at the media event when they reopened Test Track for that preview, they did service breakfast up there.
I misspoke for Imagination. The corporate lounge is actually in the back. It's offices. Upstairs was ImageWorks.
That's
It
correct.
wasn't the corporate. I just got in the mode
It's a
of all these
day of
upper
us
spaces.
misspeaking.
We need to stop.
Wait until I try to teach you how to play craps.
We've done too much today. Clearly, what are the other corporate? There is a corporate lounge in Mission Space somewhere, but I think it got wrecked for Space 220. I think they needed some of the space or something. What other lounges are? Oh, the Living Seas one is still there. It gets rented for private events. We've done a private event there once.
There was a lounge that was for a time that Chase credit card lounge above American Adventure that is now Club 33.
Norway Lounge was reused for the Frozen Ever After dessert parties for a limited period, but is now once again non-accessible.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting stuff. It's interesting, and we were glad we were able to take a look back with you for a little while. People asked for it in the comments, and we take a fun little journey. And speaking of fun little journeys, we have it's 8:11 p.m., and we're late for a meeting, and we're going to take a fun little journey very, very early tomorrow morning. I'll see you in Las Vegas if my janky airline makes it there tomorrow.
see you on the Strip.
All right. Thanks for joining us on the WDW News Today podcast.
We'll see you real soon. Bye, Kodak Film.